Milimu, KTN.
The detention and deportation of activists from Tanzania has put the East African community democracy on trial. Critics argue this is testimony of a shrinking civil space, authoritarian tendencies, and limitations of democratic practices. Tanzania President Samia Suluhu has already warned against foreigners invading her country. Kenya and Uganda too have not escaped blame, as they have been cited for rights abuses. Already, 2 opposition leaders eyeing presidency are on trial over various crimes. KTN senior political affairs reporter Daniel Kariuki looks at these threats to democracy in the region.
The latest happenings around East Africa community, the tussle between the governments and activists, have left the region on the spot. Clear patterns of government repression against peaceful protesters and activists have emerged across the East Africa region in the recent days. Earlier this week, Tanzania was making headlines with the arrest of activist Boniface Mwangi, detention and subsequent deportation of PLP party leader Martha Karua, former Chief Justice Willy Mutunga, and other activists, moves that have sparked outrage and condemnation.
Walishavuruga kwao. Nchi iliyobaki haijaharibika. Watu wako na usalama na amani na utulivu. Ni hapa kwetu. Kuna majaribio kadhaa.
The Kenyan politicians and activists were seeking to attend the hearing of a case against opposition leader Tundu Lissu, who has been barred from vying for presidency.
We were detained for no offense, for merely seeking to go and stand in solidarity and to observe the trial of Tundu Lissu.
What we are going to do is to seek legal advice to sue the government of Tanzania, because this kind of thing of detaining people and you don't tell why, and they were in the East African community, it's not right.
Nalofanya ni kulinda nchi yangu na ndio wajibu niliopewa.
In Uganda, drama unfolded in court as veteran opposition leader Dr. Kizza Besigye's legal team staged a walkout after the magistrate gave a go-ahead for the terrorism trial without their lead counsel, Martha Karua. Karua had been blocked from representing Besigye after he was abducted in Kenya.
The world has become a village when it comes to human rights. Human rights are universal.
You want to constrain the opposition, the leadership, rather than talk to them and defeat them at the battle of politics. You want to beat them at the battle of violence. Now that can't win.
In Kenya, activists have found themselves on the receiving end. Some have been arrested, detained, while others are still missing.
Myself, I was arrested in the airport with non-Kenyans. So we can see how the ruling class within the East African region are trembling when people are confronting them.
We must remember that the revolution is not going to solely derive from being on the streets. It's derived as well from understanding what we are fighting for.
African Liberation Day stands as a powerful symbol of the historical and continuing resistance of the African peoples against imperialist plunder and subjugation.
Is democracy around the EAC under threat?
Tanzania is where we were as Kenyans in 1992. That's where Tanzania is. And we need to sympathize with our neighbors. And I'm serious about this.
International community eyes remain fixated on the region on how it handles cases in court and democracy. Daniel Kariuki, KTN.